Hey guys, Dave with Moneyology here. Hope everyone is having a great day. Today is October 23rd, 2019, and this is the precious metals sector review. We're going to take a look at various different ETFs and charts of the precious metal sector: gold, silver, platinum, and palladium, from daily, weekly, and sometimes even shorter perspectives to give us a better sense of where we are, where we have been, and where we're likely headed. And this particular review is available to the public. We're going to have a premium watch list review. We're going to cover up to 25 names of stocks that I believe are worth investing in right now based on their charts. And to be a part of that, please consider joining us at Moneyology Premium, $37 a month for a limited time only. Okay, let's take a look. All right, starting with gold daily chart. Notice that this downtrend has been broken right now. We're breaking out to the upside, and although price has not followed suit, momentum has started the upswing. And I think that's a very important development, as we're going to be looking at the various points of evidence that point to upside breakout, which is my narrative, which is my thesis. Notice PPO, which is another oscillator, is starting to create higher lows, and that's very, very important as well, because we're setting the stage for an upside breakout that should happen in the coming weeks. Here's a gold weekly chart, and you see this pullback has pulled back all the way down to that trend line support now, which was previously resistance. This right here, even though we can go all the way to a little bit lower in precious metals before breaking out, this is a bullish flag. This is a bullish wedge, if you will, and this likely resolves itself to the upside. And that's where you have to. It's not enough to just look at price. You have to look at where momentum is. You have to look at what their oscillators are doing. So notice, from a weekly perspective, we've spent 3 weeks in negative territory, and I think at some point relatively soon we're going to start heading into the opposite direction to the upside. Gold bugs, this is a weekly chart, and so this trend line, which can probably be extended, it's not such an important trend line, but it was broken to the downside, and 200 day moving at 200 on the HUI, which coincided with the 26 EMA around 199, it has served as support so far. Right now, we're still above the 50 RSI, which is very valuable and very critical level of support. So long as we hold there, I think that we'll be setting up for a run higher, likely towards 260 and likely towards 287 before I would say the mid cycle of this particular rally in gold. Here's another index, gold miners index, GDM, and notice here we're well above the 50. Right now we're also consolidating around that 26, and that's also the 38.2 Fibonacci retracement. So this has been a healthy pullback, painful if you bought here, but healthy if you bought here. And so now it's consolidating. Might take a week or two more. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks already in negative territory. I think it's about time that the sector turns around, and I'll show you a couple areas why I believe that's the case. Gold shares. This is GLD 2-hour, and 2-hour chart is building higher highs right now. So even though the price is, let's say, closed just above the 13 and 26 hour 2-hour moving average, it's well above the 50 RSI. It's backtesting that level. It's higher today at 140 and at 141 over here. Then when price was at 141.12, significantly so. So it's just creating higher highs and higher lows, and I think eventually it's setting up for that upside break back towards that 147 level. All right, here's the junior miners 2-hour chart. So again, shorter term time frame. And notice this trend line resistance right now. We're very close to upside breakout. Hasn't yet happened, but momentum is now above the 50 RSI level, and it's just about at that trend line. So it's very, very close. It may happen tomorrow. Tomorrow, excuse me. PPO is already firmly in positive territory, and I think this is setting up for a really, really nice move. For those of you that are less risk averse, maybe you might want to consider piling into a short term, 3 times ETF. Not suggesting it, not my style, but a lot of folks ask me, when is a good moment? This might be it right here, with a very, very tight stop loss. I would say on the GDXJ around 36 would be my stop loss to the downside. All right, so here's the daily chart. Just we're looking at this here in over here. So this to me looks like consolidation, well above the 26-week moving average, well above this 36 level. We had a couple attempts at a breakdown, but really hasn't gotten there. Extend this line. We're basically on the verge of a breakout in momentum. Extend this line here, and we're very close to upside breakout in price. Notice PPO creating higher highs, higher lows, and it's close to an upside breakout above zero. Here's the weekly chart, and the weekly chart earlier this week was below the 50 RSI. It's since recaptured that level, and it's recaptured this level of support, which I found in the last video from the 17th. I said was very, very important. I think it's going to hold based on what I'm seeing right now. And if you extend this right now, this is what this looks like. We've effectively just triggered another level of support and likely resolve ourselves higher towards that 50 level, which was our year-end price target for GDXJ. All right, junior silver miners. This is a 2-hour chart, so short-term chart. Silver miners actually look the best right now in terms of price and momentum. We're above these various moving averages of support, and we're consolidating right under that 10 level here. But momentum is above 50 RSI. It's back testing right now, and I think it's setting up for a move to the upside, headed likely towards that 1160 area in that next push higher. All right, so here's the same chart on the daily. Notice daily has broken out above this downtrend, back tested it, and it's all it needs to do is break this 50-day moving average around 986, and sayonara, off we go towards 1160, and likely higher thereafter. Notice PPO is above zero, and that's another very positive sign. All right, here's the Silver Juniors weekly chart. And just to give you a broader perspective, we are back testing that 50 RSI level a couple times now. Now, the 26-week moving average at 946. I think that's likely to hold. Worst case, we head back all the way back towards retest of the $8 range. I don't think it's going to happen, but it's possible. Need to consider that possibility. Notice on the sell-off, the volume has just been increasingly lower every single week, and that's a sign that selling is exhausted. PPO has been negative for 3 weeks now, and I think it's setting up again for a resumption higher, probably towards that 50 Fibonacci, possibly 61.8. There you see the price targets at 1319, 1471. Palladium, on the other hand, someone asked me to cover Palladium. So Palladium, this is the daily contract. Notice we're still in an uptrend here, but I have a hunch that Palladium's about to roll over and likely going to retest that 1600 level, if not even further, possibly towards that 1500 level. It's just there's a number of divergences, and you'll see what I mean. Also, negative signs. PPO on the daily is about to break below zero. We created pretty massive divergence, negative divergence, where 1750 versus 1600, but at 1750 momentum was not higher than a previous high. So that's a negative divergence, suggests that this particular move is amateur buying, and it's probably not going to hold strong on any pullback. So here's that weekly perspective again. New highs over here, but momentum is not higher today than it was last time when we were 1576. Tells me likelihood that pullback towards that 1600 level is very much possible and increasingly likely, unless it can break to the upside. Excuse me. Getting choked up here. Very emotional. Yeah, unless it can break to the upside and soon. Here's platinum. Now, platinum, notice what happened with platinum today. Broke out above the 50 RSI, and that's what happens when you break out above 50 RSI level. Some of the biggest moves do occur, only surpassed by a breakout above that 70 level. Notice we broke out above this price channel, bullish descending triangle breakout, and I think we're headed back towards that 1,000 level. And notice PPO broke above zero. Notice the volume here increased today. So this was a very, very calculated move by the bulls, and it's the start of a really nice move to the upside. Here's the platinum weekly. Notice we back tested that 50 RSI successfully. So we back tested this breakout level, and we back tested the 26 EMA around 882, all successful. And I think we're headed towards that 1025 initial target, followed by 1175 and just under 1300. But platinum, I think of gold, silver, platinum, I think platinum might be the best performer of the bunch over the next 3 to 6 months. I wish there were just more platinum names that one can invest in, but stay tuned for the watch list and we'll certainly cover a few. Here's gold and silver ratio. You want to see this ratio break down if you're a PM bull. And so far, this is back testing right now and likely does head lower. You notice the moving averages. There's a bearish cross with the 13 underneath the 26, and I think it's going to likely head lower soon. Here's the GDXJ to GLD. You want to see the miners outperform the metal. Right now, it's in a bullish flag. It still needs to recapture this 50 RSI level, and perhaps it does so tomorrow. It would be nice to close the week above the 50 RSI level in this ratio, but it's been underperforming for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight weeks, and it's about time, I think, that the miners start outperforming the metal. Here's that same chart, juniors against the metal. And also, we're still below the 50 RSI line. We're below this trend line. And despite the bullish flag, it's got some work to do, this ratio. Here are the junior gold miners against GLD on the daily. So we just looked at it from a weekly perspective. This is a close-up here. Notice we're very close to the upside breakout here. We're probably peaking above it right now. On a price level, we're starting to curl higher. PPO is getting ready to break above zero. So it's just all setting up for an upside breakout. Here's similar silver juniors against the metal. Much better even. It's tested the 50 RSI, kind of back tested, pulled back, and likely headed higher soon. PPO well above zero. So silver is just looking stronger right now from a technical standpoint than the gold miners. But again, both will do exceptionally well if my thesis holds. Here's the silver to gold ratio. Again, we're consolidating here. This ratio we want to break to the upside, and it looks like we're very close to doing so. Momentum already did so back in July. So this is just a healthy pullback in the early stages of a very, very nice bull market in PMs. Silver to gold ratio. Here's a weekly chart and of the same chart that we saw earlier. And again, you've got the 13, the 26 serving as support, and any pullback looks to be bought on this ratio and likely heading higher, much higher in the near future. This is silver to gold weekly, and this is the silver to gold weekly. All right. And here's the silver monthly, just to give you a perspective. Silver monthly, I mean, we're just in the early innings. We haven't even broken out above 22. I think above 22 is when it's party time in the silver space, but we're ways away from that. Let's get there first. That's our first price target. I think we'll be there before the year ends. And here's a silver daily chart. Notice a consolidation under the 50 RSI. Right, and it's already broken above this bullish flag through time, and it's now curling just above the 50 RSI level, and it's setting up for that upside move towards that 1975 area. PPO is very close to an upside breakout here, so all signs point to higher prices in silver. Here's silver on the weekly. It's consolidating above the 61 level. Very, very bullish price action, and like I said. That 1975 followed by that 2150 area are two spots that I'm looking at. And PPO, despite having been going down for say 7 straight weeks, it has not gone below zero, and I think it's very likely to curl back higher rather than break below zero. And that's it, guys. So if interested in my perspectives on which companies are looking best from a technical perspective, then stay tuned for our weekly watch list to be posted, our precious metals watch list to be posted relatively soon. Thank you, and have a great rest of your week.